So what it takes, if you don't know, what it takes is a regular series designed to inspire and motivate students. And recent alumni have certainly come here showcasing what they're up to, with a diverse mix of alumni speakers that we've had who have achieved some really amazing achievements, have overcome barriers to success, and indeed probably have exceeded their own expectations. So as I say, tonight we're delighted to be joined by a Westminster graduate and now full-time YouTuber, Lucy Earle. That's what it says here. Now, Lucy's success, I think, is an example of what you can achieve if you put your mind to it, and certainly, therefore, building upon the lessons that she learned through her time on the undergraduate marketing communications degree, and then taking forward her passion for teaching people English language. And also, along the way, Lucy, you took some risks, which I hope you're going to share with us tonight. Okay? Lucy started her YouTube channel in January 2016, whilst completing her final year studies with us here at University of Westminster. Her channel has now reached, it might have gone up by now, 700,000 subscribers, and is growing at a rate of 2,000 to 6,000 subscribers per day, with an average of 2 million monthly views. That's quite incredible, and we're looking forward to hearing how you've achieved that success. Certainly not bad when you consider that she started with a £500 business loan from her father. And her mother and father are here tonight, and her boyfriend Will. And certainly without a supportive network behind you, with a supportive network behind you, it's great that you can achieve success. Your father said that you have now paid him back. With interest. But he did say he wasn't expecting to get the money back, so he's happy. So anyway, that's enough from me. Lucy, it's a great pleasure that we welcome you back here to University of Westminster, and that I hand you over tonight to what it takes to be a YouTuber. Thank you.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you all for coming. And a quick thank you to the University of Westminster for having me. Who here is a currently enrolled student at Westminster? Excellent. You guys you're so lucky. You are so lucky, because since I've graduated, I've had so much support from the university. Just a quick anecdote. If you sign up for the Alumni Association, it's a really, really important thing to do, because I just sent them a little email updating them on what I've been up to. I just said, look, I'm a graduate, I have a YouTube channel, it's recently hit, I think, 250,000 subscribers. They did a lovely article about it on their website, which was then picked up by the BBC and was then put on page 3 of the Times. So these guys know what they're doing, and you guys are really, really lucky to be a part of it. So you've got a lot to look forward to. But today I want to talk to you about what it takes to be a YouTuber. So I'm going to run through my story, where I started, how I came up with the idea, how I developed it, and what I'm doing now and what I plan to do in the future. And then I am going to answer the burning question, which I'm sure most of you came here for, which is, how on earth do you make money on YouTube? And maybe more importantly, how much can you expect to make as well? I'm here to be open and honest with you, because people were open and honest with me when I started as well, and it's so, so useful. And you'll have a chance to ask questions as well, and I really do encourage you to really, really go for it. You're not going to offend me with a question. I might just choose not to answer it. So really go for it. But yes, where is my clicker? Okay, so just an introduction to the channel. The channel is English with Lucy. It took me a long time to think of that name. Yeah. I teach English as a second language, and as Daryl said, it's just about to hit 700,000 subscribers, which is so exciting. I started it in January 2016, and these are a selection of some of my most viewed videos. Not necessarily my most favourite ones, so take that as a lesson. Make sure you love everything that you put on your channel, because you don't know what's going to go viral. I look at my growth. I feel a bit bad talking about this. Normally I don't really talk about growth, but let's go for it. Started in January 2016. By April 2016, I had 3,000 subscribers. And I remember hitting 1,000, and it was the happiest day of my life. I couldn't believe that 1,000 individuals cared enough to see what I was going on about. Then we go to January 2017. In 1 year, I'd hit the 100,000 subscriber mark. So YouTube gave me one of those shiny little play buttons, which was incredibly exciting. It actually fell off my wall the other day and has cost me quite a lot, but it doesn't matter, it was great. And then today, 700,000, so quite exponential growth. And at present, it's continually growing kind of steadily. Well, very steadily, actually. It's continuously getting, 2,000, 6,000 subscribers a day. The same goes for views. You can see the correlation between the growth of views and the growth of subscribers as well. Currently, the channel's got 27.5 million views across all of the videos, which is mind-boggling. Right, so how on earth did this all begin? I mean, what am I doing is a question I ask myself every morning, like, oh my God, when I have all these notifications. But how did it all begin? Well, I studied marketing communications here at the University of Westminster. And in year 2, I took the opportunity to do a study abroad scheme, which, if you guys have the chance to do it, it's amazing. I did a semester in Madrid, and then when that semester came to an end, I decided I'd like to do my placement year in Madrid also. So I took a risk, and risks are something I'm going to be talking a lot about. I took a risk, and I decided instead of staying in London, I would like to kind of find myself in Madrid. So I found a placement program. It wasn't really a placement program, it was a really dodgy position in a dodgy marketing agency, and after 3 months they stopped paying me. I remember actually knocking on my boss's door at 10 o'clock at night, like, I can't pay my rent, you have to pay me. You okay?
Yeah, it's an error on the screen.
Ah. Well, anyway, they weren't paying me. So I then decided to leave. I had nowhere to go. I'd missed the enrolment date for university, so I decided, well, I'll teach English then. So I moved down south, did a TEFL qualification, started teaching English, loved it, but realised that I'm terrible at grammar, or I was terrible at grammar. I never learnt it at school. When you grow up in England as a native speaker, there's no need to learn it, well, according to the current curriculum. So I started watching other teachers on YouTube to try and find kind of explanations that I could understand and then interpret and communicate to my students. But quite honestly, I found the videos really, really boring. It was often just an older person in front of a dirty whiteboard in a badly lit room, filmed on what it seemed to be a potato, honestly, or at least a Nokia 3310. And they were about half an hour long. I found myself putting them in double speed to get to the interesting part, skipping through. And I just thought, students aren't going to watch this. The teachers are treating the camera as if it's a classroom. When really, when you think about YouTube nowadays, you're lying in bed, you've got your phone right here, and it's just you and the YouTuber. It's a very personal connection. And I thought, why aren't they seeing this? So I kind of had I bet I could do that moment. And that is such a powerful sentence, I bet I could do that. If you look at something and think, I bet I could do that, that's actually your intuition telling you I could be as good as or better than the person that's already successful at doing something. So next time you have one of those moments, bear it in mind. So I decided I would like to have a go at it, but I took a long time thinking about it. I went back to uni, did my first semester. I was too busy in the first semester. But in December, Christmas break, I thought to myself, I really need to do something with this now, because if I don't do it, somebody else will, because there's a real niche and a real gap in the market. So I did what any daughter does, and I went to my dad and I said, Dad, can I have some money? And he said, you can have some money if you come to me with a business plan. So I went off, I made a business plan. I said what I want to do, how I think it could be monetized. I didn't really have much of an idea, and I did come to him saying it is a risk. It's at very least, at the very worst, it's going to be a hobby. It's going to eat a bit of my money, but I'm going to have, produce something creative. And at best, it could be something, well, bigger. So he agreed to give me a £500 business loan, which I paid back with interest, didn't I? And with that, I bought a second-hand camera, a lens, and a tripod. And on the 6th of January 2016, I uploaded my first video. So, I just want to look at this quote firstly, which I bet loads of you have heard before. If you love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life. Do you know what I say to that? Bullshit. If you love what you do and you own what you do, English with Lucy is my baby. Mothers don't just wake up in the morning and say, oh, I don't give a shit about this baby today. Well, I'm never not caring about my business, so I work every day of my life. And especially if you're looking to go into a career in social media, every waking minute, if you're not careful, will revolve around social media. So it's a lot of hard work. It was a very slow growth at first, and as a marketing graduate, well, I wasn't a graduate at the time, as a marketing student, I had a lot of fun with it, trying out different marketing techniques. I found something that worked really well for me at the beginning was joining lots of Facebook groups and posting it to relevant people. But really, what I found out was the best way to look at creating a YouTube channel, and more importantly, a successful one, is studying the algorithm and really looking into what YouTube wants. So now, when I produce content, I think of three things. I think, what do my students want? Well, actually, I'll start with the algorithm. I think, what does YouTube want, and what does this algorithm, or I should say algorithms, because there are multiple. So we're looking at titles. If you look at my biggest videos, the top 10 videos on my channel, 9 of the 10 have a number in them in the first 3 words. So top 10 words that you mispronounce, or 7 ways to improve your conversation. The algorithm loves it, so that's a massive tip there. But other things like that as well, using proper keywords, having catchy thumbs, really thinking about the algorithm. And that's to hook the students and the subscribers in the first place. Then you've got to think about, how do I keep these people? Because it's all very well having loads and loads of subscribers, but sometimes you see a channel with like 1 million subscribers, but they're getting 10,000 views per video. And it's because, they had the good content at the beginning to hook them in, all this clickbait, but then they didn't have enough to keep them, or they didn't have enough for people to keep clicking. So I've got to think about what the algorithm wants, what the students want. So they want, high quality grammar videos, really in-depth looks at, connected speech, for example. And then also, number 3 is arguably the most important one, is what I want to do as well. Because the minute that you lose passion in what you're doing, they can smell it, they can see it, and if I'm ever tired filming a video, or I've had a bad day, I get comments about it, or like the video doesn't seem to do as well. Okay, so, very important question. People always come up to me and they say, oh, Lucy, nice to see you, you're doing so well. And I say, well, thank you. And they say, so like, how do you make money? And they always look so awkward when they ask me, like, how do you make money? Ask me, how do I make money? I will tell you how I make money, because I think it's important to know. And the answer to how I and many other channels on YouTube make money is slightly complicated, but it is through various income streams. So this is a really, really simplified diagram. The first one is ad revenue, and that's probably the one that you guys all know about, Google AdSense. The little adverts that you see when you click on a video that you have to wait and then skip through, or sometimes if they're really wanting to annoy you, you have to sit through 30 seconds. They generate money for the YouTuber. But I wonder if any of you have an idea of how much it actually makes. I'm going to ask you, okay? I want you to just shout it out, and I'll tell you if someone gets it right. If I put up a video, or somebody puts up a video, and they get 800,000 views, how much money do you think that equates to? Is it $5 every 1,000 views? Just shout numbers. 800 to 1,000, that's very, very close. Yeah, roughly and it completely depends on where your audience is based. But roughly, and with my experience with YouTube, for every 1 million views you get $1,000 more or less. So you have to get a hell of a lot of views to live from your ad revenue. And for the majority of YouTubers, well, I don't know many people that live from their ad revenue. So with all these income streams, each one kind of comes together to form a complete, I'm not going to say salary because it's a business, but like a complete sort of income. I couldn't depend on a single one of these to live a comfortable life because they're not reliable. The next one is sponsorships. There's a difference between ad and spon. An advert, if a video is an advert, it means that a brand has paid for the entire video and they have some sort of creative control over the content. So if you see a video on YouTube that says ad in it, because if it's a UK-based YouTuber, they should put in the thumbnail and the title ad, but many of them don't because they're naughty, then it means that the brand has some sort of creative control over the video. I personally don't do ads because I think that trust is more important than just a one-time payday. It's really easy to lose trust, but it's really hard to gain. Well, it's hard to gain in the first place. It's almost impossible to gain back. So I like to do sponsorships, which will be like a paid mention, a mention that I integrate into the video. An example is if I have, 10 ways to improve your speaking, maybe a sponsorship would be number 3 of that. So it's kind of integrated into the video, and it's not offensive. It's not like in your face. Sometimes I do mentions at the beginning, which are a bit more offensive, but gotta live. Right. So I'm really, really careful with sponsorships because for every sponsorship that you do, you alienate your fan base, basically. So I only ever work with companies that are really, really related to what I'm doing, i.e. language courses, something that I think will genuinely interest and benefit my subscribers, which means because it's more exclusive, I get to charge more for it. Now, sponsorships can be any sort of price. It's basically what you value yourself to be. And I've made some mistakes in my time. My first ever sponsorship was $65, and I thought I hit the big time with that. But you take a look at the big YouTubers, and they're getting tens of thousands. I can't even imagine what PewDiePie must do for a sponsorship. It's huge. The next one is affiliate links. So if I recommend a product, I put a link in the description box. If somebody makes a purchase through that link, I earn a commission. It's pretty basic, but it's a really nice one because it's relatively passive. Once that video is out there, it continues to earn money for you. Then we have products. I personally don't have any products yet, but they're in the making. For me, this would be things like a language course, some sort of merchandise, an ebook, something like that. But really, the world is your oyster with these. You could just sell t-shirts with your name on it, and I'm sure someone would buy it. And then the last one is events. As you start to grow your kind of social media profile, you get invited to speak at stuff, and it's really good fun. Okay, so where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? This is a question that I get asked so frequently, especially by, and I don't want to offend anyone, the older generation. But I think that this question nowadays is completely irrelevant. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 5 years' time. Hopefully married, no pressure, Will. I said no pressure. So when someone asks me this question, I like to correct them and say, I'm only looking at 6 months' time, because I really am only looking at 6 months' time. The furthest ahead I've looked is maybe potentially thinking about doing a calendar for 2019, but that would have to come into work in like April. Who knows what's going to be the next big thing in 5 years' time? Will YouTube even exist? I don't know. I have no idea. No one really does. Maybe YouTube has an inkling because they seem to know everything. But that's why it's so important to not put all of your eggs in the YouTube basket. Or if you're choosing to use Facebook as your main kind of social media profile, don't just rely on Facebook. I call myself a YouTuber, but I've got a presence across nearly all the platforms, apart from Snapchat. I can't even say it, so I can't use it. Yeah. And that brings me on to my next point of using social media to your advantage. whether you're launching a business or you want to have just a presence and make money from being a personality on social media, use each different platform for something different. So I personally choose to share personal photos on Instagram to kind of create a more personal connection, let them know what I'm doing in my spare time. Stories are my version on Instagram of vlogs. Vlogs, I tried them on my channel, they didn't seem to do so well, so now I just do stories instead, and they do really well. And you can monetize them. I get some sponsored stories, or maybe you'll get invited to an event, they'll pay you to be there, and you just film it. Twitter is, for me, strictly to talk to the press. Twitter doesn't really seem to be growing in terms of kind of user reach. I think it is more important in just sharing what you're up to, and it's almost like the new LinkedIn. And then Facebook is just to kind of try and get traffic to my YouTube, and I share pictures and YouTube videos on there. They don't have good monetization features yet. Apparently they're bringing them out soon, but they have been saying that for ages. There are actually a couple of monetization features, but you have to apply for it. It's a bit complicated. And then obviously YouTube is the main moneymaker. Okay, so my tips for budding social media entrepreneurs. I always have I teach pronunciation, but that word really gets me. Entrepreneur. We'll try later. Maybe I'll make a video about it. Okay, so my tips are, the first one, trust. You have to build trust between you and your subscribers or followers or likers or whoever they are. And just understand that you have a really personal connection. So in my inbox, every day I get messages like, oh, hi Lucy, I was just wondering if you could give me your WhatsApp number because I just want to ask you a few questions. And you would read that thinking, how do you think I would ever respond to that? But you have to understand that, they have you this close to their face in their bedroom, so, you're their friend. And it's important to always respect that they feel that way and never be better than them. Always keep it humble. Always keep the trust. Never promote something that you don't like. I've rejected a lot of big campaigns, and my tip is just to sleep on it. There were some campaigns that sounded so cool. I was going to earn really nice money. I was going to get there was one where I was going to get a really expensive free mattress. I was dying for it. But no, I decided not to, and it was the right decision because I got to keep that trust. So really, really pick and choose. You want to be as exclusive as possible. Also, when talking to brands, this is your baby. You're young, you know what you're doing, you're kind of in this social media age, and a lot of big brands aren't, and they just don't get it. And what I found is that a lot of big brands will kind of come to me, they'll ask for a meeting, and they'll ask me loads of questions they're really, really interested in my YouTube channel. And then we'll walk away and I'll think, I got nothing out of that meeting, and they got so much insight. So make sure that you are always getting things out of the meeting as well. Don't be grabby, but do be it has to be a give and take, and it has to be a balance, and a lot of the big brands just don't realise this. They think my recent articles in the paper described me as a girl making videos in her bedroom. No, I have a studio, I really go for it. It started off in my bedroom, but, take it seriously. Other tips. Think about the content that you're making. Keep a list on you at all times. I have a list on my iPhone. Every single idea I have, I write down. Sometimes I think, I'll think about it later. I never remember it. There are so many potential good videos that I could have gone so viral, and I didn't because I didn't write it down. So you need to do that as well. So I think we've got some time for some questions. Yeah?
Okay, very good.
Yeah?
Thank you very much.
It was quite an abrupt ending. I've never been good at ending my videos either. Yeah, please feel free to really go for it with the questions.
Thank you, Lucy. Great.
Pleasure.
Round of applause. Great. Lots of fantastic ideas down there. Will learned something new tonight as well.
Sorry, Will.
But you're right, you've got to work every day with passion, haven't you?
Absolutely.
I founded a business some years ago, and you've got to believe in it, but it's not a hobby. You've still got to work it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You're working for a reason. You're going to get something good out of it in the long run, but some mornings are hard.
Yeah. Think about your audience, you said as well. It's very clear, isn't it? And you've got a number of audiences you mentioned. So you've got YouTube, you've got your students as well.
I mean, another important point is knowing where your audience is based as well. Study that analytics software, because I've made a couple of mistakes. I mean, I've said some, not slurs, but I've just said some things that I didn't realise would be offensive. I think it was one video, I had my feet, the soles of my feet to the camera, and some people were quite offended by that, so I didn't know. But yeah, study where they're from. Great.
So, I mean, there's lots of ideas, and I'm sure you've got lots of questions that you would love to ask Lucy. So, there's going to be a roving mic going around, I think. Can you put your hands up if you've got a question? 2 roving mics are going around. If you've got a question, can you please just state your name, your course, and your year of study? Thank you very much.
My name is Julia. I'm studying, I study PR and advertising.
Cool.
Year 2. And my question is, if you didn't have the money from your dad, do you still think you could do it?
Yes, because I think I would have found a way to get that money. And also, I would have started on my phone. I think that's a really important point, actually. You don't need the fancy camera. I mean, my camera wasn't fancy. I think it cost me £170, and then with the lens, it can add up. But yeah, just get a little tripod, £7 on Amazon, use the phone that you already have. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I wanted to look like Zoella, basically.
Hi, my name is Etienne. I'm a second-year digital media and communication student. When you showed your chart, in around October of 2016, you had pretty much when it started spiking. Was it because of a particular video? Did you start making more videos, or did you have like a few big ones that like went viral?
Interesting question. Really good point, actually. Yes, so October, it was actually September, a video started to get loads and loads of views. And this was a video called 10 Words That You Pronounce Incorrectly. I think that video went viral because it had like an accusation in the title. 10 words that you pronounce incorrectly. And people are like, me? Ugh, let me check. And it didn't get the most positive response. People were like, well, I actually pronounced all of them correctly. And I was like, that's not the point of the video. People from America started commenting like, do you think we're stupid? I was like, no, this is for students of a second language. But yeah, that video started to really, really gain lots and lots of subscribers on a daily basis, and it still does to that day. That's a video that really hooks in people. And that's the beauty of YouTube, is that you can upload a video that suddenly it gets hooked in a special place in the algorithm. And don't ask me too much about the algorithm because I don't know, I just know it exists. It's like this religion. And it gets hooked in the algorithm, and then for some reason, every single day, it gets 10,000 views. And then that obviously corresponds to subscribers. So that's what happened. I had a video go viral.
Hi, my name is Claudia. I'm a final year cognitive and clinical neuroscience student. I've got a question about your content of your videos. I'm wondering whether you have any people who you collaborate with to kind of check on the grammar and on the content, because as I assume you're not a professional English teacher. So I'm just wondering whether you spend loads of time on it. You study yourself, or do you have some people who check your videos for you, or some teachers, English teachers?
So I taught for quite a while.
Thanks.
I taught for 3 years. So I did have I had to learn the grammar to be able to teach. I did a TEFL qualification, but you are right, I'm not a master of linguistics or anything. So I'm constantly learning. I do it because I'm interested in it. I like to learn about the language. At the moment, I don't have anyone checking my videos, but perhaps I should, because every now and again I find mistakes. But when someone points it out, I just gratefully accept that they've, helped improve the quality of my content. But yeah, I think because it's so quick, the turnover, I have to get up a video at a certain time that it would be too difficult to have another person in the mix to check over the grammar. If I were to release some sort of product, then I would definitely have it completely checked over. Yeah, but YouTube's a little bit more instant.
MBA, before YouTube was even thought of, or before it was created. How do people find you? So in the sense of viewers, but also in the sense of sponsors.
Good question. Okay, so viewers, obviously from search terms and keywords, but actually the majority of my views come from YouTube suggesting my videos. So YouTube knows that my channel, and this is really important if you're creating a YouTube channel, my channel produces family-friendly content, which is so big, especially if you want to keep your videos monetized. It follows all the community guidelines, and it also gets a positive response. So the watch time is high, and people who watch one video tend to go on and binge watch lots of videos. So YouTube recognizes that my content is considered to be good by the viewers, so it keeps on pushing it and recommending it. You know when you get like videos down the side and it's like recommended, recommended? That's what my videos are. I've never paid for anything though, it's all organic and it's all what YouTube decides. Sponsors though, I used to sit around and wait for sponsors to come to me. I don't anymore, I go to them. If there's a product or a service that I like, I'll go to them with a marketing plan. And I actually used a template that I used in Daryl's lecture. Yes. On Canva, I made it on Canva, which is a great program. And yeah, I'll basically say, I have a YouTube channel, this is my following, this is where my fan base comes from, provide them all the relevant analytics, but never share too much, because you know, you want to keep some things private. And then I say my idea for a video. So I've done it with big brands like Babbel. Have you heard of Babbel, the language learning app? I went to them, we made a campaign together. And I designed it, and it's, yeah, really exciting for a marketing student to kind of graduate from uni and then go straight into a huge campaign with Babbel. Really cool.
Very good. Any more questions? That's lots of hands.
Hi.
Lots of hands.
Hello.
Oh, good. I was so worried you were going to leave me
Hi,
hanging
my
dry.
name is Shimi. I come from film and TV postgraduate. I want to ask, how did you create your team? And can you please tell some stories about the process you start your business and you have a team, stories between your teammates?
Team. So I don't have any employees, if that's what you're asking. It is still me. I do have a management team. So that's like an agency. So whatever they get for me, they take a percentage of. And now I choose to put all my emails through them and that. But really it is just me. Yeah.
So you mean you yourself, you are the photographer and you did all the editing?
Yes.
Wow, cool.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, it is a lot of work. And when I started, it was so confusing. I had no idea about cameras or video editing or production. But there's this really cool thing on the internet called YouTube. And so I started searching, like, literally my question, like, why is my screen red? Or why is this not exporting? And a million other people have already had that question. And loads of really just angels have made videos explaining how to deal with it. I think there's only been one time in my whole YouTube career where I've had to pay a video editor person to help me out, to share the screen and tell me where I'm going wrong. Everything you need is on the internet, you just have to find it.
Hey, what's up? My name's Alan, I study entrepreneurship. Did you ever use the, King's Cross has the YouTube Centre? Have you ever used that?
The
And if you
YouTube Space London?
Yeah. Have you ever used that? Or anything else similar to that? And if you have, then what did you use and how do you find it?
So, the YouTube Space London is this magical place where you can go if you have over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. You unlock access to the space, and it is incredible. They have 3 massive studios, amazing cameras worth more than any house would be worth. Like, it's amazing, and you can rent them out for free. You can just have to book in, and you can film there. I don't tend to film there that much because I'm happy and comfortable with my setup at home. However, they do provide you with a partner manager, which is somebody who kind of acts as a go-between between you and Google and YouTube. And so I now work very closely with YouTube. The reason why is because I said yes to everything at the beginning, and also my channel had abnormal growth. And also, it's a positive channel. I'm not just showing you the contents of my handbag. Although, I really wish I could do stuff like that, but no, just English. But yeah, so I go there probably on a weekly basis. Oh, sorry. I'm just in teacher mode, so when someone puts their hands up, I want to answer them.
Okay, yeah. Can
Hey, yeah.
Hiya.
My name's Hashim. I studied finance with management, BSc at Marylebone. I graduated, so I'm alumni now. I wanted to ask, do you think the golden era for YouTube has passed?
The what?
Like the golden era, do you think it's really saturated to really get noticed?
No, but I do think to succeed you need to find a niche. And I, at the time, found a niche. I noticed that there weren't any young, kind of really well-produced English teachers on YouTube, so I filled that niche. And there are niches popping up all the time. So if you find one, fill it.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I'm in my second year and I study film. I just wanted to ask. Yeah, I'm here. I just wanted to ask about music and like putting music into your YouTube videos, because I'm not really sure with copyright and what you can do with music.
You do have to be quite careful. YouTube actually, when you create a channel, you have the Creator Studio, and you can use all of they have basically a database of music that, you know, with just an attribution, so by just pasting who made it and a certain thing underneath, you can use their music. If you want to use popular kind of in the charts music, you can, but you can't monetize your video. They will take the ad revenue from your video. So you do have to be careful.
Got time for a couple more questions.
Hi, Lucy. My
Hiya.
name's Simon. I'm a third year biomedical student. I just wanted to ask, like, what kept you going from Jan to October? Did you ever feel like no one's subscribing to your channel? Like,
The thing is, it's all relative. So when I hit like 100 subscribers, I was completely blown away. And so the fact that it was still growing. I didn't know that this big jump was to come. So for me, that was still really cool at the time. I did have a little gap though over the summer holidays because I was in teacher mode. I didn't think that anyone would be studying in summer. But then I had the video go viral and I realised that no, people need it all the time.
awesome. Just one more thing. I'm sure some of us here would want to be YouTubers. What advice would you want to give to us?
Just keep passionate about it. Make sure that you're doing it for you. I would never recommend starting YouTube just to make money. I've seen people do it and I've seen people fail. I started it because I thought it could grow into a business in the future, but it was also something that I just really wanted to do. I kept getting asked these same questions over and over again. The biggest one was about make and do, the difference between the verbs to make and to do, and also different pronunciation ones. And I just thought it'd be easier if I had a video I could send to people as well.
Hello, hi, I'm Ivano, MA Tourism Management. I wanted to ask you, when you come across some material that is useful to give examples, such as pronunciations, because obviously when people learn English, they need to be familiar with different accents. How do you solve problems with copyright, for example, if you have some useful material that you haven't produced, but it may be useful to use in your video?
Well, I think the thing to bear in mind here is that nobody owns the English language. So kind of, I would never steal, like, if I was inspired by a worksheet or something, I'd definitely mix it up, put it in my own words and things like that. But I don't kind of take screenshots or anything. It's important to interpret it. And you know, the same happens to me. I see people obviously inspired by my videos and they're literally re-uploading my content, but you know, doing it themselves. And there's not anything I can do about that really. And I wouldn't either because, you know, I think the more the better that's out there as well.
Got a question here.
Hi.
Hi Lucy, I'm Ksenia, I'm entrepreneurship MSc, and maybe it's just me, or maybe different people feel the same way. When you record an audio or video of yourself and you're looking through this and you feel like, oh God, please no, just delete, delete. Have you ever faced this kind of situation? How do you deal with these like issues when you see the recordings of yourself so much, but sometimes you feel like...
Yeah, no, I totally relate. When I started filming myself, I didn't realise I looked like that. I was like, what? After you spend like 20 hours staring at your own face, you start to see some things that you've never seen before. No, it is hard to become comfortable in front of the camera, especially when you're not used to cameras. So you can't really make the camera make you look good because you literally don't know how. I would say if you want to look good on camera, get a ring light. Get a ring light, get a nice lens, turn up that exposure, that whitens your teeth and it irons out all your wrinkles. And yeah, just play around with it, play around with powder as well, even men, and just make sure that you know exactly what you have to do to feel comfortable on camera. I know that I need an hour to get ready and I know that on camera I'll be fine. In real life it's a different story, but on camera, you know, you look okay.
We've got time for 2 more questions. So we've got
It's me. I'm Lorenzo, and I'm a third-year student in PR and advertising. And I wanted to ask you, actually, YouTube changed its algorithm for advertising in the past year. Did this have any sort of impact over your revenue?
Oh, the adpocalypse.
Exactly.
Yes. So, a lot of my friends were really severely impacted. I was ever so slightly. I noticed that my ad revenue didn't grow as projected, but it didn't fall. So I was quite lucky, but that's because I have very ad-friendly content. Big companies, you know, English language is a huge thing. It's popular in every single country, apart from England, arguably. And so it didn't really affect me. However, I actually think it was a really important change because that thing I said about not putting all your eggs in the YouTube basket, it meant that it gave my friends and my fellow YouTubers a bit of the kick up the bum. And they suddenly realised they can't depend on ad revenue anymore, so they started to do different things. And I think a lot of creativity came out of it because they started doing, you know, different series, subscription boxes, they wrote books. It was no bad thing. I think it was needed.
One final question.
Hi, I'm Liam. I'm a graduate 2015 in Chinese medicine.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm just wondering, in terms of the content of your videos, how much is scripted and how much is ad-libbed?
There's like no script. I'm a terrible actress, so if I read something, it doesn't look right. So what I do is I'm quite lucky because I'm doing lessons, but you know, I imagine that you'd be able to develop certain points that you want to convey. So I just literally have a notepad, I write down my points, and in between cuts, I do jump cuts because they're easy and I think they look slick. You might see me just tilting my head down, and that's sometimes me looking at the notes, but yeah, that's it. But I will normally prepare for it. Whilst I do my hair and makeup, I'm running through the videos, and I block shoot. So I'll spend one day writing, you know, planning out the videos that I want to make. I'll spend the next one filming literally 7 videos, and then over the course of the next few weeks, I will be editing and uploading the videos. So it's a constant flow, but I found it much, much more effective than just hair and makeup, film, edit, post, hair and makeup, film, edit, post, just breaking it out.
Fantastic. And some great questions as well.
Yeah, really good ones.
Wasn't it? Great. So Lucy, thank you so much for everything.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Clearly, you've taken away from University of Westminster your learnings, you've grown, and you've blossomed into a YouTuber. And you've
I
given
never
us
thought I'd
today,
heard that.
and you can never thought you'd have said that 3 years ago. So thank you so much for sharing your experiences since you've left university. It's been really enlightening for me, and I'm sure for everybody here tonight. So thank you once again. It's been great. Okay. I'm sure Lucy's going to stay around for a bit, so if you want to catch up with her and ask her more questions or whatever, then she's going to be here. I just need to now draw your attention, I think, to the fact that we have these series very regularly. And I'm going to tell you what the next one's going to be, if you've enjoyed this one so much. It keeps disappearing. Do I go too far? Oh, dear. Got to go slowly. Slowly. Where is it? There it is. Great. So we have these series very regularly, once a month, and the next one is What It Takes to Be an Effective Leader. Wednesday, 6th of December. Book your ticket now. Delighted that one of the alumni is going to be Matt Hyde, Westminster alumni and Chief Executive of the Scout Association. Slightly different to tonight. The largest youth organisation in the UK with over 600,000 members. So, this event's going to be relevant for all of us that want to be a more effective leader in the future. So without further ado, thank you so much for tonight. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Tell your friends about it and what they missed tonight and why they should be coming in future. Do have time to network, talk, share, and enjoy the drinks and refreshments at the back. Thank you.